Welcome back to Licorice. We're starting our second year now. This week is Parshas Shemos and Chumash Shemos, the second book of the Torah. And there's an interesting phrase in the Torah. It's talking about the Shibud Mitzrayim, the difficulties the Jews had in Egypt. Kasher Ya'anu Oso Kain Yirba. Very interesting. While they were being inflicted, which the Egyptians did to stop the Jewish people from growing, they actually grew in numbers. The Jewish people grew and were successful, even though there was an attempt made by the Egyptians to block that success. It was unsuccessful on the Egyptians' part. The Jewish people were successful in Egypt, growing into the Jewish people, growing into a nation. Comments the Yismach Moshe. Nearly to kol ma shayach na, all that we find that a person is humble and makes himself realize that he's not the boss, that creates that there's Hashva Shechina. That creates that Hashem's with him. There's a pasuk in Yeshaya that says, "Va'esh gones daka." Kodesh Baruch says, "I dwell with the person who's pushed down." So therefore, Kain Yirba Shelo K'derech HaTeva. Therefore, we have a Kain Yirba. The Klal Yisrael is growing, not in a natural way. The Egyptians in the natural way are trying to break Klal Yisrael. But in a non-natural way, beyond nature, Hashem is helping them because they're humble, because they're being pushed down. We find this idea also when the Aron was captured by the Plishtim, and it was by a person named Oved. And by him, there was also Shechina there when he had the Aron Kodesh by him. And there was a nace of Shisha B'Kerem Echad. His wives gave birth to 6 children at a time of birth. So too here there's 6. Klal Yisrael is growing at a rate that every birth there's 6 children, not twins, triplets, 6 every time, 6tuplets. So while they're being attacked by the Egyptians, Klal Yisrael is growing into a nation. The Medrash Tanchuma says over here, a slightly different pasuk than we started with, Rav Atzumi Menu. The pasuk says that the Egyptians are complaining that the Jewish people are many and stronger than us. Mimenu means us. The Medrash asks a question. How did they grow, the Jewish people? Mimenu. What does mimenu mean? Mimenu doesn't have to read from us, from the Egyptians. It could be read as from him, from Hashem. Shnem Hashem Mimkor Yisrael. So really, they're quite linked. It's not merely that it happens to be while they're being afflicted by the Egyptians, they're growing into a nation. It's causative. Because they're being afflicted, so then they're suffering. And with their suffering comes humility. It's very hard to think you're the boss if you're suffering. And due to their suffering, Hashem is with them, and that's why they're growing. That's why they get bracha. That's why they're able to become the Jewish nation. So the Rebbe is trying to tell us a very, very important idea. When a person has suffering, sometimes life has suffering, and he feels humbled by his suffering, a very natural reaction. So he should know that's the opportunity to realize that Hashem's with him now when he's humbled. When a person realizes that Hashem is really the boss, he's the one that can help me, then it's a time that Hashem should help. And that's the hint in this pasuk. The verse says, while they're being afflicted, that's why they're growing. It makes them grow. They grow because that's how Hashem runs the world. He's with us when we're humble.